Women over the age of 21 can now obtain passports and leave the country without the permission of their male guardian. This might not mean much for most of you, but for the women back in Saudi Arabia, this is a huge deal. Saudi Arabia's Council of Ministers approved a royal decree last week that would loosen some of the restrictions placed on women under the guise of guardianship laws. So what is this guardianship system, or wilaya as they're called? So they're basically a network of regulations on the movements and behavior of women that required them to seek the permission or accompaniment of a close male relative in matters of work, leisure, finances, law, and health. To be honest, it feels weird saying it, but hooray! Women can now travel abroad, obtain passports, and just move around without a male relative's permission, which, by the way, wasn't the case before this law amendment. They get some basic rights too. Women will now receive standard employment discrimination protections. They now also have the right to register the birth of their children, live apart from their husbands, and obtain family records. And now a woman can register as a co-head of the household along with her husband. But this doesn't mean that the guardianship system has completely ended. A woman still needs a male relative's permission when it comes to marriage or divorce, to leave prison, or domestic violence refuge. There are some other things too. Women still cannot pass on citizenship to their children and cannot provide consent for their children to marry. But all of these amendments are particularly important for Saudi and MBS's reputation as a reformer. In recent months, several young women have fled the country and made public pleas for help in seeking asylum from their family and the government. Last year, authorities arrested many of the country's prominent female campaigners in a sweeping crackdown on activists. So that's why these guardianship changes, like the lifting of the ban on women's driving last year, form part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's promise to modernize the kingdom. Vision 2030 plan calls for a rise in women's participation in the workplace from 22% to 30%. Actually, right now, women's participation in the workplace is merely 20.1% and represents only 18% of the female working age. So the youth unemployment rate is 31.2%, while the female youth unemployment rate is a staggering 58.1%, despite Saudi female educational attainment exceeding that of males. A lot of experts have explained how the involvement of women can accelerate the economic growth by increasing mobility across sectors and just sheer manpower utilization. Research from McKinsey Global Institute finds an enormous commercial benefit to increasing the female participation rates in MENA workforces. If until 2025, each country in the region was to match the momentum of the country with the fastest growing increase in the percentages of females in the workforce, McKinsey estimates it would add $600 billion each year to the MENA economy. So basically, all I'm trying to say is, if the women are given their basic rights, they can become more of an active part of the job market, which in turn will benefit the economy. And that is what all countries want, isn't it? What we need to see is if these outdated laws and systems are completely abolished, making Saudi a country that is granting higher levels of human rights to its citizens and residents anytime soon. And if all of these reforms translate directly to economic growth in the near future. Well, we'll just have to wait and watch. Until then, don't forget to follow the space because we will keep bringing to you stories from Saudi Arabia and the rest of the GCC. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, follow and share this video.